Welcome back, everybody. I hold shift with Dust, and we're in map 3. Noble
Yes, we are.
and 100 Thieves snacking up on Ascent. And while the expectations are pretty much self-explanatory for the side of 100 Thieves as far as what we've come to know, I think the big conversation point that we had was just kind of following what Asuna wants to play. We talked about the Jet map number 1, obviously the Reyna map number 2. How about you go 3 for 3 on Major Duelists, as it's now going to be the Phoenix here on Ascent?
Yeah, back to his old classic, man. Nothing like a good old Asuna Phoenix combo there. Steel obviously still playing the Sentinel. Now we got Ethan on Sage and Nitro and Omen. All feels right now, right? I mean, I feel like Ethan on Sage is kind of like where he hit his stride last, stage. So definitely an agent that he seemed to sync up with pretty well. And obviously Nitro at times has been argued as the best Nitro. Obviously the best Nitro in North America. There's not many of those, I imagine, but the best Omen in North America, some people say to claim, and definitely was up there in his decision making and his ability to have impact with the agent. So yeah, I feel like this is a lot of players for 100 Thieves getting into their comfort zones with this agent select, as I imagine Hiko, while he is flirting with the Viper there,
Select your agent.
I would be very shocked to see it, as he should be playing the Silva, as you would imagine.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, everything on the opposing side is kind of what you'd expect as far as like what role they're playing. Maybe their agents pivoted here and there, but still kind of what you expect. As yeah, Hiko of course locks in the Silva. No surprise there. So here we go.
And this is the exact same composition that we saw from Noble in their 13-2 win versus TSM. And the big culprits of why that score was so lopsided look no further than B-Dog and Precision, who finished 19-7 and 18-4 respectively. And not to dismiss anybody, Leviathan was at a cool 12-6 as well. So 2+ KDs across the top 3 fraggers for the side of Noble. And that's the big key, is the fact that as a collective squad, these guys have all participated at a high level. They don't need one player to pop off at any given moment in time, but if that is required, they have showcased they could do that if it's necessary.
And they did it off the back of a very huge defense. They won 10 rounds unanswered to kick off the first half against TSM. So very strong defensively, very good on their retakes, I think was like a really big part of that upset against TSM. And they'll get the start off defensively here again against 100 Thieves. But again, 100 Thieves, over 70% win rate on this map. Very good on both sides of the map. Definitely one of their bread and butter maps for sure. Again, every guy gets to kind of play an agent that's classically an agent they're known for. And so I expect this to be a tougher one for Noble compared to their TSM matchup.
We'll see how things unfold. Leviathan, I imagine he will be happy with the information he finds off that recon bolt bid map. Asuna going to threaten the middle market as well, but the alarm bot will slow things down a touch. Ethan goes up to the wall, pan, tested, and finds nothing short of just a couple little bits of damage. Long range, actually, coming through. Paranoia does a pretty good amount of work to allow ZK a chance, but the flashes cause chaos. Asuna survives, threw it in, helps with the Ethan to find 2 in collection. So Noble just down to Leviathan for a 1v4.
Yeah, that's one of those knowing is half the battle type scenarios for Noble. Yeah, you might know that a B-split's coming through market, but when that wall goes down on that back hallway and you're forced to face 2 players at once that peak at just the right time, it's going to be hard to silence that. And 100 Thieves is very explosive there, kind of reminiscent of what they were doing on Haven, where they weren't wasting any time, taking sites, getting spike plants, and just, flexing their skill. And now they'll come into this round, obviously, with firepower superiority to the max. No investments being made from Noble here, just staying on the classics on all of their players, looking to full buy next round against the 100 Thieves bonus. But Asuna does pick up a Phantom, so as long as they keep that in play, they'll have at least 1 rifle next round on that bonus.
This is something we kind of come to expect from a handful of the top Phoenixes in North America. Get the early rifle, see how fast we can get this, run it back, and that is essentially what your win condition is getting into round 3 and round 4. It would take a little bit for Asuna to get to that point. Oh, and actually gets caught with the curveball out. Leviathan finds 1 for free. Payan, though, in the same breath falls, but nobody can shake out Leviathan from this back alley. That's the spike down. Slow orbs have made life a bit difficult to move through, and a numbers advantage now for Noble as a weapon will get passed around.
Yeah, they give it to their highest health player, which is B-Dog on the site. They do get the spike back for 100 Thieves. They're trying to back out, and they're taking a lot of licks on their way of this exit strategy. They do get away. They still have 3 players pretty healthy. They're transitioning together, but there's already a defender ready to go on the A site for Noble. But I don't think it's the one that has a weapon. I think it's just going to be a classic for this stage. Yeah, Precision does put the wall down, though, so that's going to buy a little bit more time for a rotation. But 100 Thieves can just reroute to Heaven and kind of wrap the spike that way. But they have to deal with this rotation first. Make sure it's clear. They're facing together. I like this. Don't slip on a banana peel out there. They put the turret down, the guard, and okay, interesting.
Yeah. Noble have flipped the map around, and 100 Thieves are absent from any information. Wait, what? Where is everybody? B-Dog now with the weapon. Gonna be lined up for 2. B-Dog for 3. And a Thrifty comes through for Noble. And they will say thank you very much for the free rifle.
It almost has this air to it that 100 Thieves overcomplicated it. Like, you know you dropped it. You know you dropped a Phantom on B. Yeah, they're probably thinking that they're swinging that Phantom through middle or something, or flanking them, and they're a little bit concerned, but I think once you got control of Heaven, you could either sat there for a second and just waited to see if Noble got aggressive, or you could have just planted and just held control of Window Room and Heaven and just watched the spawn push. I don't know, like, it's one of those things like woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's hard to know. Obviously, they couldn't have expected a Phantom to be right there lining them up. But yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow for 100 Thieves.
And the other side, just to give the credit where credit is due, I mean, that's a really nice adaptation from Noble as well. I mean,
very crafty to like slow orb that Speedway, get the Phantom down, pass it along, keep it in play for maximum impact, and they get it, right? So, I mean, obviously nothing taken away from Noble. They played that as best they could given the situation they were dealt.
First Blood also converted on as Payan was the one to find the Stinger close quarters for an elimination onto his counterpart of Steel. Leviathan already into the ADS, spamming, finds a headshot. Just, oh my goodness, the definition of spray and pray. And apparently Leviathan is a, well, absolutely there's no risk, because Leviathan currently, you can feel, absolutely a member of the Church of Odin as he finds a second kill. ZK gonna double up as well behind the play, and Noble take 2 of the first 3.
Yeah, they disrupted 100 Thieves' pace for sure, getting around early. Again, they had really nothing invested into that round. They had 5 classics and then wound up getting a Phantom away from Asuna and using it to get a victory. And so that's a big move from Noble. Now up 2-1, 100 Thieves back onto the full buy. Rifles aplenty. That is a very creepy bear.
Do love Canoe Bear.
There's a lot of weird animal puppet things in this game. Snakes the size of squirrels, or squirrels the size of snakes. I don't know which one's worse. Got giant penguins. I don't know.
I'm here for it, dude. Snowman with sunglasses, whole 9 yards. And, ooh, Asuna nearly gets a timing to find a player underneath the door as it closes. ZK able to shut down the run it back, and that will actually mean that 100 Thieves also have to slow things up. The spike is also still lingering backside towards the middle of A. And how about the long play from Pan trying to close this rotation off?
Huge catch on the ZK, trying to teleport across, and Steel lands the spam immediately from under Heaven. Now going to be able to also put the Nano Swarm there. That's a very tricky spot to put it in. It makes it very disruptive for defensive teams to rotate through. And so now Noble finds themselves well behind from this quick attack from 100 Thieves.
The big question is, can Payan do anything from this position in the back, or do they just play for exit kills? It kind of feels like Noble, just based on what they did on Haven, they're just going to try to back away and play for exit kills here. So
it really did come down to Nitro catching ZK, try to teleport across. And then Steel, I mean, that spam is something you always kind of go for, but to land a frag within like his first few bullets, I feel like, is just so fortunate for 100 Thieves. Good use of the wall to block tree and get into the site to begin with, but oh, Pan, poor guy. He didn't deserve for wrecked.
Good awareness from Hiko, though. Tippable.
Yeah. What do you think that eject button does on that gun for B-Dog? It looks like an eject button, right?
Does that not just open up the cartridge for the reload?
Yeah, it's just that simple, isn't it?
I mean, I don't. It's the same.
Auto is pretty great. Unfortunately, it doesn't really agree with me. Sometimes I risk it anyway, you know?
Sometimes you have to risk it for the biscuit.
Even if you're lactose intolerant, sometimes you just gotta take one, you know? You might regret it later, but you'll enjoy it in the moment. Much like maybe this map will be for one of these teams.
Good segue.
I kind of forced it, but you know, we'll work with it. Not my best work.
But 2-2 we go into round number 5. Owl Drone freeing up Asa to move quickly. Curveball around the corner. This is going to feel pretty familiar. Slips on through, nearly catches Leviathan, caught with a recon bolt out. But the problem is he doesn't check down low to the left, which is where ZK is currently hiding inside of logs. Good for the first, turns around, would love to have gotten a second, but 1 for 1 is okay. 100 Thieves still committing to this play as they've made their way over towards the boathouse. And it's just down to, can you shrug off these last 2 members that are actually onto the B site before you can actually get a plant off?
Yeah, they're getting held up, and the rotations are coming along here for Noble right now. They also have Hunter Fury available. As soon as a plant starts, they can disrupt that pretty easily, though that player is actually on the side itself, so maybe not so much going to happen that way. As they're trying to break in, but they just can't seem to get that next kill they need. They don't even know about this player in the back. They're so focused on the Leviathan on the side itself. Ethan is running him down with the Classic, but again, they just don't even know about that next player. But Nitro somehow breaks through anyway into a 1v1.
Yeah, that's a really nice exchange for 100 Thieves, getting Ethan through on one side, Nitro playing the opposite. Shrouded Step comes through to get him to safety into the archway for the 1v1. Payan playing this through the staircase side. You see him on the picture-in-picture to your left. It's just down to how do you clear these angles. And actually, to be fair, Pan's done a pretty nice job. He's going to have a pretty good guess. And especially now that the dark cover comes out, he should know that Nitro's playing from the right. But who gets the first peek? Oh, the shot's going through the wall. Neither team going to connect. And Nitro switches to the Classic and finds Pan. Also trying to aggress forward with the same play in mind. And 100 Thieves break our stalemate and go up 3-2.
2 in a row, but again, a labored one. It seems like in some of these attacks are starting to get held up a little bit and struggling to get those like efficient entries. But they're being crafty. They're having individuals shine through when they need to. Nitro again showing you some of his classic Omen shenanigans there. And now we come into a round where Noble aren't left with much to work with. They have the Odin and the Phantom. Other than that, it's upgraded pistols. Big A lean from 100 Thieves early on.
Asuna's going to commit through. As let's say Hunter's Fury is available. Leviathan's going to use that. Finds Hiko. Also got the connection onto Asuna. Delays the third tag and tags 2 more with it. Oh, the value from Leviathan may have just put this round to bed before it even starts. And that's, I mean, great news for Noble, who are on a save, technically speaking.
Yeah, their wall also already fortified as well in this archway. They're still going to use the lockdown and try to get into the side as they break that wall down. Heaven, of course, has some safe areas still to use. They can also still set up flanks, and Precision keeps slowing them down with this orb.
Yeah, he's going to eventually fall. Leviathan was trying to assist by way of Odin, but he actually gets spanned back. The offensive slow orb's pushing him off, but a second opportunity maybe. Not fully going to be able to get there. Pan working on the long flank. With him is B-Dog. ZK playing through tree. That's the 4v4 setup. But Ethan watches the flank. Finds one. Not getting a second. So now 3v3. And a possible opportunity for Noble to envelop this site. Boombot comes out, obviously knowing that the flank is compromised. And Leviathan finds a connection just as the paranoia hits. Asuna down low in hell. 3v2 situation. Holding the tight left corner is Nitro. Long range shots for B-Dog are good. Now a 1v2, and Leviathan just spams through and finds the connection on the wall bang. That will be good for the damage plus kills, and Noble tying us back up at 3.
Good old Odin wall banging. Coming in strong for Noble to help that retake along. Even with the flank getting caught a little bit, it was efficient enough. I love the stalling tactics in particular here. From Noble, just the wall, the slow orbs, just always making it very stressful. Hunter felt fully in control of the site, you had to imagine, and then yeah, Leviathan just doing Sova Odin things.
And that Hunter's Fury is probably one of the best I've seen in a while. Kill plus damage onto 3.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. As that one-way smoke is trying to allow Precision to get aggressive here on A lobby early on. You can see that Harleys are just kind of waiting it out. So they get spotted, but not hit.
I love this for Precision, though. Again, just another early wall coming through. Just making 100 Thieves have to consider what they want to do. Do we reveal our call and break through the wall, or do we rotate away from it and try to stay sneaky? And beyond that, of course, Precision gets the ability of not having to worry about the front and help out a teammate somewhere else, which currently it's ZK over through tree.
Yeah, they're able to really have a firm A defense in place here, doubling up on that catwalk position, having that side anchor on A still standing. They're watching middle with Leviathan, and they're putting a lot of trust on Pan on Killjoy to the solo hold B. 100 Thieves, though, again, haven't really been playing like that default mid-control type of style. They've been more trying to play like more of these just heavy gather type situations in that mid-round kind of timing, and it looks like once again they're looking to knock on the door of the save on site.
This is so good from B-Dog. Staying safe from the spam. Leviathan through the archway again. Paint shells out. Boombot, Showstopper, the kitchen sink, all coming out from Noble. Precision mid-map, takes down Steel. Showstopper connects onto Hiko. That's the spike down. No time to even plant. And 100 Thieves never even get a chance to execute.
Yeah, just absolutely shut down across the board. And I feel like it's because 100 Thieves are starting to get red a little bit. I really like when they were exposing middle more. Like when they were like actually threatening Pizza and Market and like forcing the defense to stay spread out and respect all angles. You know, they're just kind of getting found out early, and so Noble are starting to like overstack, over-rotate, and not really get punished for it. You know, they seem to be very confident in their setups. They're fragging out really well. Leviathan's just teeing off with this Odin. And so I'm not really sure what 100 Thieves are going to have to do here to try to make things change, but I do feel a part of that is just going to have to be a little bit more dynamic. I feel like they need to start challenging middle a little bit more, challenging tree or challenging, you know, deep into market, and just kind of, again, keeping Noble on their toes, so to speak.
Well, here you go. You asked for it, you shall receive it. Asuna, first one forward. Leviathan, this recon bolt again. Actually not going to find information. The dark cover keeping them safe, so that's empty intel. Now the wall comes down. B-Dog cannot assist. It's down to what you can hold from the boathouse and inside the site here for Noble. Leviathan going to be tested, and he's actually seen one already. Confirms the elimination. A little bit of help from his teammates. Not able to find Ethan on the backside, but the Boombot will. So that's going to be now numbers again for Noble. 100 Thieves not finding much ground here off of this Eco. Steel also falling, and Hiko short to follow. Noble cleanly get through and tally their 5th round.
Yeah, they're just responding really well. Again, Leviathan has been so massive with this Odin. He's been all over the place as well. I feel like 100 Thieves are probably wondering how they get away from this guy, because it seems like every time they commit somewhere, he's already there ready to go, lighten him up. Of course, that was a round that 100 Thieves weren't fully bought into. Had a couple of pistols in play there. Now they have the full rifles, and I feel like they could still run something very similar. They don't have to commit as quickly, but I think, again, putting that mid-pressure on, keeping Noble guessing, maybe finding some picks along the way could be what 100 Thieves needs to do to kind of turn the tides with their attacking side. Noble doesn't really need to change anything. They're actually going to play a bit more of a retake B, and that means that this ult from Nitro is going to be perfect with the run it back to kind of ensure the site will be taken. But I feel like Noble knows that those ults were available, and that's why they got the heck out of there.
Payan denies the run it back. Leviathan quick to rotate. Confirms the elimination, but we still stay 4v4. Resurrection available from both sides. You feel like for Noble, it should come through, and it will.
Yep.
Leviathan still locking things down, and it's just down to for Noble. Do you use this lockdown to retake?
Oh, absolutely you do. You have a 5-on-4. I feel like they played this on purpose. They knew what ults they were up against, and so they're like, fine, just take the site. We're not going to lose anything along the way, though. Burn them, and then we're going to come in with this lockdown and retake it.
Here comes the forward play. Lockdown's down. Hunter's Fury used to deny it. That will be successful. Lockdown destroyed. So now for Noble, you have to do this the old-fashioned way. Precision finds the first elimination to maybe kind of insinuate that they could. Asuna, good for 2. Hiko, 2v3, trying to work this alongside of Nitro, but not able to take down B-Dog. But the problem is the time. It took just a little bit too long, and 100 Thieves will successfully bring this back to within 1.
Yeah, that was a close one. Obviously, that Hunter's Fury as kind of the ultimate counter to the lockdown was big for 100 Thieves, especially since they lost a player on that initial take, and being down a man and have the battle against the lockdown could have been really tough, but at least like shut it down, and again, they were able to slow it down long enough to win off the spike explosion. Still a labored victory, though. I feel like 100 Thieves has yet to have like a real confident win in quite some time, and Noble, again, continuing to play really good Valorant.
Well, all 5 members for 100 Thieves this time will initially start over towards B, but this is what we've seen time and time again. Oh, the Boombot will actually find information and damage. Big uh-oh. That's going to force out the hot hands just for the self-sustain plus the healing orb. So yeah, back to 100 health, but some tools off the table. And Noble have successfully already quelled any other further motion for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, you could tell that Asuna thought maybe he had beat it. you know, and that he could maybe
Yeah,
use it as
yeah.
like a timing to kind of sneak into market and get a freebie. Unfortunately, it didn't happen for him, and now everything just kind of gets slowed down. Asuna, though, able to get towards Tree, gets around the barrier, but gets slowed, and now this recon ball could get such a big read. Indeed, spots 2 of them. Payan gets the frag. Payan gets more.
That was absolutely disgusting from Noble on the setup. And how good has Precision been with these walls and orbs to allow his teammates to convert? Everything falls to Asuna, not really a chance to really even go for this round, but the play through Tree read like a book.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I feel like everything 100 Thieves has been doing has been very readable and very focused in kind of one area. And that's different than what I expect. I'm used to seeing a very diverse 100 Thieves that can play out the defaults, get map controlled, and play set pieces from that point forward. And now, Asuna, I mean, this is a, like, what?
He's going to kill off some time here with this run it back. Noble's going to wait for it to expire, not wanting to give away an elimination. Now they'll go. But that's a lot of time off the clock. If Asuna can find a single kill, he'll have his hot hands back. This is actually very doable for a 1v4. Here comes the play. Sees one, finds the kill, hot hands now earned. That's gonna block off the staircase. It's not gonna be defused. Can you get there in time to actually defuse this? And it looks like the answer should be yes, comfortably. But goodness, Asuna nearly gave that a hell of a go.
I'm actually a little surprised he chose to use it in a 1 versus 4. That seemed like really optimistic that it was gonna convert. I would have thought using it in the next round for an actual site take would have been the ticket, but I mean, goodness, that nanoswarm combo was so brutal. Obviously, the recon bolt and the slow orb blade rolls and allowing those nanoswarms to be effective. And I mean, Noble just has so many tricks up their sleeve, whether it's Leviathan's Odin just wreaking havoc, whether it's just Precision utility, obviously Killjoy's utility from Payan's been on point. I mean, they just look like a fine-tuned machine right now. And again, 100 Thieves just look way sloppier than I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you saw it there for a second, and I encourage you guys in the audience at large to take a look next time we pull up the scoreboard. How many assists there are across the board for Noble. I mean, everyone's getting involved and helping each other, and that's been one of the big keys.
Ethan trying to sneak through and catch Payan off guard. Almost worth, but not quite. Payan says nay. Gets 2 big ones there with the operator already into a 5-on-3. With Nitro also very hurt.
B-Dog gonna get 1 for free. Wants to dance around the corner maybe for a second. Doesn't really anticipate that Hiko is as close as he is. There's the angle, there's the information, and with it also comes the kill. Asuna 1v5. Any tricks up your sleeve for this one here, friend? Gonna get tagged up through the wall. Able to find 1 elimination and a second. No. No way, surely not. Okay.
Thinks another. The thing is, he's now only 1 orb away for another run it back for the final round.
Yeah.
Actually, no, he already has it because of the death. Yeah.
Oh, the death, yeah.
And a lockdown. They need to make this work, bro. This wombo combo has to convert for 100 Ds. I feel like they need more value out of this attacking side.
Impressive for Payan. Paladins player, by the way. Casual shout out. But last round and a half, there's something to say about how well Noble has played, but the way they beat TSM, like you mentioned, was 10 in their defensive half. So has what 100 Thieves done so far been enough to put them into some maybe favorable spots? Leviathan has been so good
Lockdown
with the Hunter's Fury. And yeah, like you mentioned, that's steal off the picture. So now there's no chance the resurrection will come through. But Austin is able to get taken down again. No run it back. So the combination that you're looking for at the beginning of the round is already denied.
Yeah, the run it back to take a side's already off the table. Wall slowing down 100 Thieves from splitting A. And now the slow orb combos it. Nades land on Ethan. He does survive. Lockdown going to be able to at least come in now. Paranoia sick onto B-Dog, but he pops a showstopper, but he'll never get to use it. Brilliant combo from 100 Thieves to take this site.
2v4 situation. Lockdown in play. Steal flanking. Payan ready for it, though. Now 2v3.
Lockdown too.
It's going to go down. Right here in the corner, next to Glass. Aldrone also in the mix. And this is an operator currently for Payan. There should be some weapons around the corner for him to pick up if he wants to, but goes for the challenge. Leviathan going quickly. Wants to make a play on towards the spike itself, but gets caught with a knife in hand. Hiko finds the final kill and will exit the half 7-5. Noble, though, still in the lead.
Yeah, it's still a big half, though. I mean, it was little rounds here and there throughout from 100 Thieves, including winning pistol and losing the bonus to classics. I mean, they had so much trouble throughout this half. Again, I really feel like they just don't look as sharp as I'm used to. But on the other hand, give credit where credit's due. Noble made it hard. I think that Precision's use of utility on the A side of the map defensively was so good. They layered it with Payan's utility oftentimes for maximum impact, like you saw just there with the Nano Swarms. But I think the other big thing that you have to mention is Leviathan was an absolute consistent thorn in the 100 Thieves side. He made it so hard for 100 Thieves to ever feel comfortable anywhere with how he was using that Odin.
It's just an Odin world, and we live in it. We swap the sides. Eco watching mid-map. Little tickle into Precision. Relatively inconsequential, and Noble are still setting up for this hit over towards the middle of the map. Similar look, though. Aldrone forward, and B-Dog, the duelist, next one up.
Yeah, this is big. Just getting pizza clear, getting into, market, just threatening the fact that they could be splitting B through market side. They can also bounce back and still attack tree. So, again, it's just creating that presence, creating that doubt in 100 Thieves, something that 100 Thieves are never really able to do much on their attacking side. And I feel like that's kind of a staple of Ascent, is to be able to do that.
Turret finds some value there, forces out the healing orb as Leviathan had some issues taking care of it. Alarm bot also triggered. Nitro from the bottom side of the site throws out with Paranoia, and Hiko responds. Early utility finding value for 100 Thieves. Nitro, though, still going to be tested. ZK not able to find any help for the elimination. B-Dog on the site. It will be essentially jumped on. Goomba stopped by Ethan. And it's Leviathan for what it would need to be a 1v4. No spike to play with either.
Yeah, not long for this world, you'd have to imagine. Just a formality at this point for 100 Thieves to start knocking on the door of a tie situation around the corner. Having a little fun as Leviathan.
Decent overall, though. He gets one, nearly a chance at a second. Was trying to stay away from the sentry turret the entire time. And okay, so 100 Thieves break up that pistol monotony once again. Technically speaking, out of the 3 maps that we've seen, they've won 2 of the pistols so far. So again, Noble has been really good there. But what's going to be the response this time for Noble, as they will be going into an anti-eco where they're just going to looks like full save, just classics?
Is that an acorn grenade?
It is an acorn grenade, yes, with either a birthday party squirrel or...
I feel like letting a squirrel play with a grenade is very dangerous business.
I'll also say, if you ever show up at my birthday party, you give me an acorn grenade, I'm going to have questions.
Yeah, that's another good point to make. Ethan putting that wall up early here to have access to wine, and also just to slow down enemy progression on the A side. You can see that obviously Noble are looking to break that open a bit. Steel watching for this very mid push, by the way, and we'll find it.
Wow.
He read that script.
Yeah. Once or twice at least. Leviathan is stuck in a corner, and he is going to be chased down.
No, boy.
Oh, yeah, really good stuff from 100 Thieves. Good isolation, but Payan is snuck onto the A site. But he's by himself 1v5, so good luck, have fun.
No spike possession, though, of course.
No, naturally.
Unfortunate.
There it is.
Kill, though, nonetheless.
Yeah, for sure.
Might be fuming a little bit if I was Nitro.
If not puzzled.
Yeah, puzzled maybe more. Nitro doesn't seem the kind of guy that like just fumes. It seems like he's a pretty reasonable lad. Pretty calm-natured. But here comes the first big test for both these teams. Tied up. Elimination on the line for the loser. Have to wait till the next open qualifier for Challengers 2 for this stage. Winner will get to move on to play Challengers next week. And so it doesn't get closer than this. 100 Thieves on the bonus, and Ares and some Spectres and the Judge against the Odin from Leviathan. And we see 100 Thieves looking to get aggressive on this A side.
Yeah, and honestly, Noble are not in nearly as comfortable a position as you would assume off of 2 rounds from the offensive side. There's a lot of light armor, and I have to imagine beyond that, probably some utility that has been skipped over just to get the rifles.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to pry open B. There's a turret available at Switch, kind of watching for the B main commitment. Hiko in the back calls here. Been found out. Turret now down. They also have mid presence as well from Payan, who has put that pressure over towards Pizza. So very good spread from Noble, getting some good presence all across the map, taking some nice control of mid. This is kind of, again, that bread and butter attacking side you want to be able to establish on a Sin. It builds everything else later on.
And Ethan's wall through Cubby is going to be deleted. So, like you mentioned, just Noble is splitting the focus so well. Even Austin is going to get caught out by the alarm bot of Payan. Sentry turret's also there. He didn't see anything. So now Payan's going to move forward, and he could have a really good look over towards that switch that Noble previously cleared. This is going to be a B hit.
Yeah, absolutely. Owl Drone will lead the way from Leviathan to start getting up Speedway. They nade that corner, which is a very popular spot for defenses to hold, but the Nanoswarms come out late here to slow down the attack. It's buying time for the rotation. Hiko's taking some damage, sure, but again, they're at least able to start rotating their players around, but Steel's in a tough spot.
Time. 13 seconds of the clock. Steel just needs to kill off the clock. Spike is being planted. He finds the first kill, not the second. 6 seconds of the clock. Nitro's not a part of this play. Wants to see if the Spike successfully gets planted, which of course it will.
Yeah.
And now Nitro is the 1v4. He's got a long way to go.
Again, that was one of the most coordinated attacking rounds. We see it all game long, and it comes from the team that's only been together for a week. Just impressive. Like, impressive use of getting Payan deep in middle, using that utility as an early alert system. If 100 Thieves tried to get aggressive, they're in their own right mid. It created presence. It created, 100 Thieves having to be responsible for a lot at once, kind of keeping all their, areas covered. And it was just really well layered from Noble. Just taking that control, taking the turret down at B, then re-aggressing later with the Owl Drone. Just, again, a really well-played round from Noble on the attack. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I don't know how much practice they had, unofficially before the team was announced and such back in late June, but they looked really well drilled in that round.
Speeddog Leviathan up top, 16-7. But again, look at the assists down the line. 6 assists for B-Dog, 10 assists for Leviathan, 7 for ZK, 6 for Precision. I mean, everyone is just active every single round. It's been so fun to watch. Unless you're a 100 Thieves fan. You sit there and you go, whoa, wait, what? Surely not.
Now it is the full buy, though, from 100 Thieves. No more bonus in play. So, again, this is going to allow them to put their best foot forward a little bit more, as we do see an A split commencing, it seems like, for Noble. They're a little late to the party at A lobby, but still having presence there. They're pushed up catwalk, but they haven't committed tree just yet or anything like that. Now they're swinging it actually back around, but Steel has his forward angle on lobby, and Hiko's ready to go as well with this Odin.
Yep. But I still love for Noble that they keep throwing out these little head fakes towards what they're trying to do. The shrouded step right there. I mean, it's continuing to keep 100 Thieves pressured. Yeah. But Steel, Aldrone will see the information that he's looking for. Can he convert a kill, though? Oh, almost gets caught up and down the boxes, but still does find first blood. Hiko trying to make sure there is no follow-up, and he's successful to get his teammate out of dodge.
Indeed, he does, and also gets the recon down, and here's the orb being taken, but doesn't really get that much damage through with the Odin. Lockdown now available for Payan. Might be using this as a fake, perhaps, as Precision was trying to make some headway up tree, but now the opposing Venn diagram that we see of both lockdowns in play, but it's looking good for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, it's a kill that Payan would love to have. He's just lurking on the roll, and now Asuna, beautiful curveball, plus the flick onto B-Dog. Now, granted, he had help from Nitro, but impressive nonetheless from Asuna, as 100 Thieves will tie things right back up at 8. Noble still an economy to play with, but decisions to be made.
Yeah, you feel like if Precision gets that kill on tree, that round gets really interesting on that double back up catwalk to A side, or maybe even cause a disturbance, and then you re-hit B after the Killjoy lockdowns are off the table. Either way, big catch from Asuna to shut that down. And it keeps it even footing here. Both teams still fully bought up coming into this, but the economy of Noble is certainly quite fragile. If they were to take the L here, it's a chance for 100 Thieves to, take the lead and extend it another round before they can buy back.
But Noble's patience on offense has been really well constructed. This time, Leviathan clears a lot of space through mid-market. Dark cover will come down, but Precision can just wall this and then get forward. Hiko's going to be pressured here from multiple angles. He's not 100% sure what he's going to need to watch at the moment. The only help that he has is from Steel, trying to get over quickly as Asuna, but it's going to be a little bit late to the party. Blast Pack actually pushes him up just a little bit. That'll be a sound cue on him, but Doesn't make too much of a difference because Hiko's utility is so good. Confirms the kill with the shock dart. Flash around the corner from the curveball, but Asuna doesn't follow up after it, so a kill was responded to. We go 4v4. Nitro denied in the back, and even though it's traded, we've got a 3v3 here, 45 seconds to play, and Noble could rotate if they want to.
They get caught if they try to go back halls, though, because Ethan is here watching this, so they'd have to back up through middle instead, and they have very low HP on their two remaining players, and time is also starting to dwindle, and again, Ethan has this back halls covered.
30 seconds
Spike is actually over towards Tree, trying to maybe pry into A as B-Dog continues to try to put pressure, stop the rotation. He catches Steel. That's a big one. He's revealed, however, and Ethan goes back to find him, and ensuring that they're going to have a 2-on-1 retake with ZK having low HP.
But ZK's gotten up top glass. Could just wait on this angle. Knows Hiko has to rotate. Also got confirmation on where Ethan was positioned. So for a 1v2, low HP, still doable.
I know it's possible.
But it's all about the timing of how this play comes to fruition, and it's going to be a double peak simultaneously for 100 Thieves. They nearly line up, but still the kill. Too easy to come with only 26 health, and 100 Thieves back in the lead. They up by 1.
Yeah, you can see the awareness there. Ethan was staring at that angle the whole time, knowing that there was a chance that maybe that glass got broken at some point earlier and he didn't know. He was making sure that, you know, the wool wouldn't get pulled over their eyes, essentially. Seemed very well prepared for that position. They're able to get the frag, go up 9-8. That spike plant, though, gives some options to Noble.
Yeah.
You can see that they're going for an Ares on Leviathan. They're getting some upgraded pistols. They'll still be able to full buy next round no matter what. So they can actually pose a threat around earlier than anticipated with this limited firepower. Asuna has run it back available, but there's also some ults in play for Noble. And so the route to 10 rounds from Thieves won't be as easy as they expected.
I'm curious to see if Noble's going to change the tempo up a little bit maybe here. Doesn't look like they want to, at least not initially, but a very similar setup to what they've had in the past. Only real main difference is the fact that ZK is up top through top side of A. Working with them would be B-Dog, and there might be an opportunity to get some early pressure towards A, which honestly we've not seen that for some time here from the side of Noble.
Yeah, Noble already starting to make their way up catwalk. Haven't crossed Tree just yet, and Asuna is here watching for this very move. Smoke will go down in front of him, however, blocking his vision. And he even gets pushed off by the Nano Swarm. Ethan trying to do something crafty here at one with the boost, and it works out flawlessly. Other Thieves are cleaning up.
And Asuna actually uses the offensive wall to get on top mid. Essentially gets behind the play, essentially, but Leviathan has gained possession of some ground here on A, but the vacancy is not nearly as vacant as you'd normally think, although does find one elimination, knows that he's got one player deep, one player close, but it's Steel who confirms the kill, and 100 Thieves grow their lead to 10-8, but like you mentioned, not as easy as they may have expected. Some repurchases are going to have to come through.
Yeah, a little bit more costly than maybe they were hoping for, but they definitely have the credits to cover it. They still have a res available as well. But there are a lot of ults for Noble in play. Hunter's Fury Showstopper can be some fantastic tools to utilize. And again, they've been really good about getting that mid control, you know, threatening Market and Pizza, getting up Cat. They just haven't been able to take that final step, you know, into a big site take or something like that.
Spam shots right down main for Leviathan. Actually tag up Steel a little bit. That'll force the operator off the mid angle.
I think Ethan got past the turret timing and is in wide.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I don't know that Noble will know that he's there. Well, now they do, but it's, I mean, they already lost a player along the way.
Yeah, and Payan does get isolated. That's the second round in a row that 100 Thieves have been able to push someone back into that corner beyond the ultimate orb. Hunter's Fury coming out for the offense. Hiko shrugged off. Will still be fine. He's going to have some help as well from Steel, and Hiko's still finding value with the Odin, although Steel misses an uncharacteristic shot. So B-Dog keeps the play alive, 2v3. Spike is making its way through the offensive spawn, but look who's tracking it on the minimap. Asuna right behind, converts the headshot, and now B-Dog gets tagged up by the Aldrone, and it's only a matter of time before he starts to get tagged up from a multitude of angles. Even gets tagged once more by the same Aldrone, and Hiko says, that will be a free kill for me. 100 Thieves growing some daylight between them and Noble. 11-8 now the score.
They're starting to click at just the right moment. You know, good read from Hiko to know that wall boost was going to happen at the window position of B lobby and catch that frag. And then obviously using that owl drone to kind of close the deal. Showstopper res available for Noble still, so they still have some big tools to put to use. Though this round, it's going to be tough. I mean, they're going to buy what they can. They don't want to give 100 of these a free map in Series Point, but they also want to make sure that they're covered to full buy next round to make that full push. And they actually get past the slow orb with the showstopper, and he gets over the wall as well, but just misses the rocket.
And Nitro follows up, finds a first blood. Oh, that's literally a millisecond away from being an incredible opening from Noble, but instead it's 100 Thieves with the first 2 kills, and it's all turned into disaster for Noble.
Yep.
Oh, but what a play that would have been.
That would have been so sick, bro. He almost did it. That was almost a big timing window that he was able to exploit. But now the res is off the table as the Sage went down. Obviously, Showstopper gets no kills and really no sight control. And so 100 Thieves are able just to put that wall down and just collect. Running Noble through the blender. They're in a 5-on-3. They've lost virtually no health along the way, and it seems like it's inevitable that they're going to hit map in Series Point. What could have been, man?
I'm looking down this lane from ZK's point of view. I was like, I don't even know how you begin to even describe what it would take to put that down perfectly. ZK does collect an Ares. He's got Nitro in a corner, but you just feel like here for Noble, I don't know what you do here. I mean, there's no reason really, I guess, to not go for it, but it's going to be late in the round, and now Nitro's found the 3rd kill through the dark cover. Time is now essentially an impossibility for ZK, and he may just hold on to this Ares, as Noble could be in a very sticky financial situation going into what could be the last round of this series.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, it's a free sheriff. It's secondary for what could be the final round. Also a little bit cheaper to get the upgrade to full armor now.
Match point.
And here it is, all down to this. Noble has the lockdown, so that could be a big tool for a take, especially if you can get control of B lobby, and there's really nothing to stop it if you place it correctly.
They will be able to afford as well. That's the key.
Yes. Yeah, they didn't go all the way in last round. They were very calculated in their spending. Is that... Wait.
I don't know what that is.
What is he in? Is he in a volcano?
I don't know.
I haven't seen that one before. That's new.
Me neither. First time for everything.
Oh, the spam!
Uh-oh.
Cross cancel, I guess. Oh, that shock dart, though, lands.
Leviathan chunking Hiko. But no first blood to speak of as of yet. Also, of course, the ability to heal. So Hiko right back to essentially full HP, and Steel converts first blood. Operator through the middle of the map. Asuna did get tagged over through Cubby, so there's not an opportunity for him to recontest. And I was about to say that means that the resurrection should be essentially guaranteed, and it will be. So we go back to 5v5.
Indeed we do. Lockdown comes into play as well now from B lobby as they try to start approaching this site. They're also going to see an Omen ult put to use for a little bit of intel, but they can't really follow up this attack. They're getting bogged down in B lobby. They're never able to actually take the site. These nano swarms continue to reinforce, and oh no.
This might be a little bit too slow for Noble. They took a lot of damage on the way through as well. Hiko still had a line of sight to spray down the entryway. But still, Noble, they do get possession. Nitro reconfirms the first blood. This time it's on the B-Dog. And on Logs. Oh, Asuna deals with them. Now they're in a back earn. Going quickly in for the retake. Leviathan at low HP. Curveball comes out. Precision has no idea where to look. Asuna finds a second. Down to a 5v2 situation, and now the last hopes are on ZK. No more Cinderellas today. 100 Thieves survive through Noble, and I use that word selectively, and I say it emphatically. Noble put together a fight, but 100 Thieves will win the series with a 13-8 here on Ascent. We'll step away, give you the breakdown, and also provide the Verizon interview right after this.
money in the bank. Hit you with the bank. Hit you with the 808. Money in the bank. Money in the bank. Hit you with the 808.
Welcome back, everybody. It is a victory for 100 Thieves, but a tall test coming out of the ranks of Noble with this recently formed squad. An absolutely incredible series from start to finish, not just in this one, but also what we saw from Xset and DZ earlier on in the day. But to focus specifically on the Ascent, Noble, first half, again, second time we can say it in a row, putting together a really good start to this map here, Dust.
Yeah, defensively they look great. Again, they were good with their aggression. Leviathan's Odin was really nifty. Just seemed to always be a constant thorn on the 100 Thieves side. I felt like they were able to just, put pressure where they needed to and just really able to work together very nicely. Again, 100 Thieves on their attacking side at times just looked a little bit lost, a little bit just not on the same page, struggling to find the space they wanted and getting stalled out at times. Again, great use of utility, I felt like, defensively by Noble, particularly their use of the Sage and Killjoy utility on that B side of the map, or A side of the map, excuse me, was really good. But 100 Thieves, whenever they got on the defense, they were able to really start to shine. Felt like they were doing some good things. I mean, I felt like Hiko was doing a great job anchoring that B side, for example, and did what they needed to do to get the job done. May not have been pretty, but they got there in the end.
Yeah, and Steel really did come to life a lot with the operator, which was something that was kind of absent from a lot of our conversation throughout the day today, was that sniper rifle play. But yeah, 100 Thieves, much more cool and collected on this defense, which is something that was kind of missing from the opening two maps, at least in our evaluation. So really good stuff. But of course, with that, we also got to have a nod for the Credit Karma Instant Karma play of the day. And I'll tell you, this has been a really interesting one to kind of add into the mix for us, because how about this? One of your teammates is able to find an elimination on a thrifty round, drops over a Phantom, and then you turn it into 3 kills in the end. That's incredible stuff, just the dexterity between Leviathan and B-Dog in this play.
Yeah, this was like the very first banana peel that 100 Thieves slipped on this map that made it so interesting, which just followed prey to a 5 classic round where they were able to shuffle over a Phantom and use it against the 100 Thieves like that. So that was definitely one of those tough moments for them, but again, able to battle through it, able to eventually figure it out. But solid challenge from Noble. They made a good showing of themselves, just barely coming together with not too much time, getting the upset over FaZe, taking 100 Thieves to the limit. I mean, definitely they have a lot to be proud of, I think, going into the next Open Qualifier.
Well, move over to our Verizon post-match interview. We have Hiko that's going to be joining us here to give us some reactions, thoughts, and of course, maybe some foreshadows as we get ready to look at 100 Thieves in the main event. Hiko, welcome. Congrats on the win. Tough one, though. I mean, honestly speaking, what just instant reactions to playing up against this Noble team who really gave you guys a workout?
Yeah, they definitely pushed us to our limits there. I don't know if we necessarily expected that. I don't think we really necessarily expected to even play them this qualifier. So, hats off to them. They played really well, and they pushed us into very uncomfortable situations that stumped us sometimes. So, like I said, hats off to them. Not literally, of course, but hats off to them, and well played. And I feel like they're a team that could definitely make it through the next Open. They played really well. They're a hard team to play against.
Fair. I guess the first question I wanted to ask is kind of an obvious one, to me at least, and that's Asuna on Jet on Haven. That was definitely a new one. I mean, I know he played it against Soar as well, but this is still his first couple of games playing Jet in official matches, and he definitely seemed really comfortable on the agent. I mean, he definitely was making some really big plays. It kind of reminded me of like when Scream played Jet for Liquid, just like being that rifling Jet rather than an opping Jet. Kind of what was the philosophy behind that, and how do you feel it's gone, and should we expect to see more of that?
Yeah, so with our comp, we were definitely trying to figure out what agents best fit. Duelist is like a weird role right now where a lot of teams are running single Jet duelist. Some teams are running no duelist. Once KO comes in the meta, it seems like maybe the no duelist will be more common. So we messed around with our comp a lot over the last couple of months. I think our last official match was like 2 months ago now, and we've changed our comp a lot of times. We tried a lot of stuff, and it actually felt really good having Peter play Jet on Haven. So it shows he's fearless. That I don't know what that kid eats.
Yes.
I don't know what that kid does, but this guy is fearless. This guy is running in there 1v5 dashing, like it's crazy what he does.
It's like summer 2015 Freakazoid in Valorant.
Yeah, exactly. Just let me run in there first and kill it. It's crazy. So I big props to Asuna for being able to flex onto multiple agents and multiple duelists specifically. But yeah, it was just like a comfortable feeling. It felt like we were not able in the Astra meta and this controller meta to really make enough space. Like Raze wasn't really cutting it. Phoenix had flashes, but it wasn't really like working well for us. So now it's more like, even if we get stalled in the execute, well, we have a Jet that can dash in. It's like, the X factor in a lot of rounds, the ace up our sleeves a lot of rounds. So it worked very well for us, and it worked in a way that, our Haven, I feel like is pretty good, pretty nice right now. And I think he actually is a pretty good Jet.
So with this, obviously a lot more opportunity opening up on the offense, but defensively, we noted a couple of times just evaluating how things were going, a couple of shakeups, not exactly as controlled as we kind of expect you guys from both the Haven and the Icebox. Any thoughts as far as what was kind of going wrong, or maybe where you guys need to relook and evaluate before you get to the main event?
I mean, Haven defense, we had a stand-in. I love Quan. Big shout out to Quan
absolutely.
for standing in. I mean, he was playing Sky in a role that he probably isn't super used to, and I mean, he knew none of our strats. So we big shout out to Dicey for coming in and standing in for us there. We really appreciate it. We won the map and we were able to move on. So I can't really chalk up our defense Haven to us really misplaying. More so we're calling a lot of on the fly stuff and just moving around. Icebox was weird too. I mean, I feel like we came into this tournament expecting our Icebox to be really solid, and we've already shown holes that we're going to have to fix and focus on for next weekend for sure. So, or for whenever the close is. So definitely, definitely got put in situations that we weren't super comfortable with, and we're definitely going to be looking back and seeing exactly what went wrong, what we can change, and how to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess the final question for you, Hiko, would be, it seemed like also your Ascent attack looked a little less sharp than I'm used to. And it seemed like you guys were playing agents you're very familiar with in the past, right? So I'm kind of curious, like, was it just like Leviathan's Odin that was a constant nuisance? Was it just the way Noble was playing that made it hard for you to instill your normal gameplay on Ascent? Or what do you think was kind of making your attack, again, just not look as sharp as it normally does?
Yeah, I think we definitely were. I mean, I hate to keep saying we were just stumped a lot, but we were put in situations that just we've never been put in before, and we were trying to adapt on the fly. But then like we'd get Odin spam through the wall, or we get Sage slow Sova alted in a weird spot that you didn't really even expect that it was even coming, and they went around like that. So yeah, it's definitely it's. I think that maybe our practice hasn't been as efficient as it could have been. Maybe we're getting put in situations that we need to, start considering and start thinking about more. And yeah, I mean, I can't just say it was all us playing bad and us being stumped. I mean, they played really well. They had a lot of stuff that looked different and looked challenging to play against. And the way that, Leviathan did use his Odin, like he's probably one of the best Odin users at B on Ascent that I've played against. Yeah, even attack, like I did not, or even on our defense on their attack, I felt like I was not safe spamming my Odin at B, and I was trying to play like some weird off angles, and I was getting spammed still by him. So, that definitely was a little bit awkward. I think it was more so our attack that was a little weird. But yeah, maybe some people not on the same page as we usually are. I'm not really too worried about it. Like I said, I think we'll be able to go back and watch those matches back and see exactly what went wrong and fix it. And, hopefully we'll be back stronger and look better for the close for sure.
Hey, we look forward to it. Hiko, thanks so much for the insight and, of course, the time. Congrats on the win. We'll see you next weekend for Challengers 1. Much love, brother. Appreciate it.
Thanks for any of you guys. Have a good one.
Of course. Stand-up guy, Mr. Hiko. But, hey, that brings us to the closing segment here of the show, which, of course, is the aim lab flick of the day. It's going to feel like the aimbot flick of the day, though, especially if you're getting your time in on aim lab. And we had a number of different options realistically when we came down to it, but this 1v2 on the backside for Zek, an absolutely unbelievable, needing the plant as well, halfway defused. There's one. How about the spam for the second? Beautiful flick and play.
Yeah, second just really showing you that value for Xset throughout today. On the duelist, on the sky, showing you his flexibility, showing you that crisp aim. Definitely been a big pickup for Xset throughout this bracket as they move on the challengers.
So that brings us to the conclusion. Of course, Xset move on in 3. Same would be said for 100 Thieves. And actually, it's game 3s all across the board here today. I don't know if we have the bracket to get into, but that's Envy who was able to beat through T1 and Sentinels tried by Sonics. But tomorrow, expect some more barn burners as we move on through to the lower half of the bracket. We'll be starting off with version 1 and Luminosity. You'll have Dust and I for the call on the mainstream for that. Simultaneously, Andbox and Gen G will be going on. And then the second slot of matches will include Cloud9, Blue, and Rise. And how about the bottom side of the bracket? Virtuoso and the Pioneers making it through. One will qualify. So again, we've got surprises all over the place when it comes to this first open. But final thoughts, wrap the day up in your mind here, Dust, before we say farewell.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, and Energy and Immortals go by the wayside there, and Virtuoso and Kansas City Pioneers making it through. So definitely will be fun because at least one of those teams is guaranteed to make it the Challengers and kind of, again, show us some new faces, so to speak, in that next stage of this bracket. So well done to all the teams who have qualified so far, and Sentinels, Xset, Envy, and 100 Thieves. I think those are kind of the expected teams to go through. But, different paths to get there than maybe we would have thought. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and can't wait for tomorrow to finish things off and get ready for Challengers 1.
We'll see you. Same time, same place, 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. You're not going to want to miss it. Final day of the Open Qualifiers, number 1 with the VCT Stage 3. My God, it's a lot of titles. But we'll say farewell for now. We'll catch you tomorrow. Until that point, though, hope you keep holding it down. So long.